Good day, everyone. It's Carole-Anne, and I'm making a video right now so that I can help people who are struggling with homeschooling. First of all, I'd like to let you know that for people who don't know me very well or don't know me at all, I'm a certified teacher. I've been a certified teacher since 1993. I have 4 kids of my own, and in the last so many years, since 1993, I've had about 10 years of experience of full-time teaching in the classroom, uh, jobs here and there because we've moved a lot, and sometimes I was home raising my kids and not working at all. And about 6, 7 years of substitute teaching. I also, for about 3 years of time, did some homeschooling. So I do have experience of teaching my own kids at home. Now, my experience is mostly teaching in Francophone schools and in French, but I'm sure that it applies, whatever I have, the tips I have for you applies whether it's English or French. So, first of all, I would like to mention that there are certain habits that are very important for success. And it's important to implement those habits so that your days become intentional and your days don't become just a day of just waste and ending up wasting your time and being distracted by so many things, and then, oh well, at the end of the day, I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. If you want to be able to school your kids at home, it's got to be intentional. So it's very good to plan, and not even just plan for the day, but plan for the week. You plan for the entire week because often our schedules go by the week, the entire week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Plan a certain time during the day to be able to homeschool. So you pick a very specific time of the day. Often the best time is in the morning when everybody's fresh. So in the morning, you get up, you get things done, just like as if you're going to school. You don't lounge around and you get to work. Now, the school setting and home setting is very different. So there's a lot of things that happen in the schools that don't apply at home. Because of that, lots of homeschoolers say that they can get stuff done in about 2 to 3 hours. Their entire school stuff is done within that period of time. And so I encourage you to put 2 to 3 hours in the morning of time set just for that, where you focus on homeschooling your children. Second, have goals. Have goals. Teachers always have goals. They start their year with having yearly plans, taking the learning outcomes from the programs of studies, and making yearly plans. This month I'm going to reach this and this and this and this learning outcome, and this is how I'm going to reach them, and how am I going to evaluate. So all of that is usually planned. So plan. So planning is very important. But of course, if you're just planning for your couple of kids at home or a few kids, it's very different than a teacher who's planning at school for a class of 20, 30 students. And so it doesn't have to be as formal and as full and as developed. You can just make sure that you use a planner. Use a planner and put it in. Because you're teaching at home, and you can just put it in the planner. Whatever the kids are to learn that week, the learning outcomes that you're going to try to reach. And often as homeschoolers, you have workbooks and books that you use at home, and just plan which lessons am I going to go through this week, when am I going to do it, which order, how much time I'm going to allow for each one of them. So plan for the week. That's what's best. And have an idea how many outcomes you need to plan for the month so that you can get through all the outcomes throughout the year. But remember, each child learns at a different pace. And so it's very important that if it takes longer, it takes longer. If some outcomes have to wait till next year, some outcomes have to wait for next year. If the kid learns fast and is very motivated, well, you might have to add a few little extra things here and there. Some enrichment stuff that you might need to find to be able to keep him motivated and keep him learning at his pace. So you got to evaluate also according to the child's ability and his pace. So, and again, prioritize. So there are some courses that are more crucial. I find personally, in my opinion, what's most important for young children to learn: read, write, do math. All the other ones, social, even social and science, yes, they have their importance. But a child will not be able to eventually succeed as well if he doesn't know how to read. In everything that he does, he needs to know how to read. He needs to know how to write. He needs to know how to count. He needs to know how to at least do simple math. So those are the most important ones. I would put that as priority. First thing to do when their minds are fresh. The other things can be done afterwards. So I think personally that that's what is most important. Prioritize your time for teaching with them. Make sure that you put that time aside and you make it a priority. When things happen though, life happens. So if life happens, well then make sure that you have a plan B, that if there's something that happens in the morning, let's say for example you choose the morning and you can't get to homeschooling that morning, say okay, well then maybe in the afternoon I'll set a time then and I'll get it done then. So make sure that you do have a plan B for when things come and you have to take care of those things that come. So yeah, and as a teacher, teachers, what their job is really is to assess, to teach, to evaluate. Make sure the kids learn skills, learn knowledge, and learn abilities, and learn also good habits so that they can become very productive citizens in the future. So to prepare them for the future, to be independent as adults. So that's what a teacher does. And then she evaluates where they're at, and depending if they understood or not, then you continue with the teaching. At home, it can be done much more in a more simple fashion to evaluate and all that. You have only 2 kids in front of you, or 3 kids, maybe 4, depending on the size of your family. And each one is doing their own thing. Well, once you've figured that they've kind of mastered a certain concept, you can just give them a few numbers, just a few more numbers or a few more problems just to see if they really understood, and without any help. And then you know if they have understood. There's your evaluation. You don't have to do a formal testing like at school. So, and if the teacher from school is very involved in giving them lessons, well, there you go. That does a lot of the work for you, where you're more like an assistant at home in that case to help your child and help them understand. Now, in the future, I will make more videos like this to help out. And one tip that I would like to say is students learn best by doing. Lectures, like they used to do a long time ago in the past, don't work. That's the least effective way of learning. Doing is the best. Having examples, having concrete examples. And each child learns best. Some are in a different way. Some are more auditory, some are more kinesthetic, and some are more visual. So depending on your child, find out which way he learns best and give him examples, give him some concrete things to do and things to see. Help him to see it. Just lecturing him is not going to sink in. And a child's attention span is dependent on his age. If he's 5 years old, it's 5 minutes. If it's 6 years old, it's 6 minutes. So don't spend more than maybe that many minutes to try to explain something to a child. After 5 or 6 minutes, depending on his age, you need to switch things around because that's how long their attention span is. I will be making more videos with more tips so that so that each day this week that you could get more tips. And because if I make this video too long, I'm going to probably lose your attention because everybody, not just children, but adults too, have a limited amount of time that they can concentrate. So, yeah. And I hope that this has been very helpful. And if it has, press like and share. So, because I'm out to help out others to be able to succeed. Um, and I really hope that this has been helpful. Eventually, I will come up with more tips about organizing time, helping understand structure, um, uh, um, doing explicit learning, expectations, boundaries, consequences, more, maybe even nutrition. I find nutrition very fascinating and very important for a person's ability to focus and learn as well, for them to absorb, learn skills, learn concepts, learn whatever they need to learn. So, and have yourself a wonderful, blessed day.